It's deer hunting eve. Yes, not as cool as duck hunting eve, but pretty dang close. Family, friends, everybody's got a tradition somewhere. Stay tuned at the end for one little tradition that I have that's getting retired this year. But for right now, we need to talk about the Minnesota 2020 opener and what's really going to happen here. Yes, the Orange Army is coming out, and it's going to be a whiz bang of a weekend because it's going to be warm. Warm. That's really what we're after today. I hope you haven't all left already, but a little preparation is going to be the key to this weekend. Right now, what I want to talk about is the amount of processors that we're going to have out there. And you really, really need to think about this. All of those guys that you had previously butchering your deer might not be butchering them this year. One thing happened this year is the Minnesota DNR put out a regulation that guys in their garages need a $100 license with some, and in order to get that license, there's a few restrictions that go with it. You need hot and cold running water in your garage, and you need a commercial freezer, and you're going to need to be real careful because most dump sites no longer accept waste. You can't throw it in the garbage can anymore. Now myself, I live out in the country, and I'm just going to throw, anybody that doesn't really know me, you'll see right there, Kruse cuts 24/7. I no longer cut anymore, mainly because of the CWD. And it was getting too big, and I just didn't want to hurt my deer herd at all. My daughter, my sons, my friends that come up here. So it was time to relax on that a little bit on my garage cutting and, spend some time hunting myself. So on with the program. The first thing we need to talk about is deer care, all right? We're talking about 60 plus degree temperatures. So a few things that I want to talk to you guys about. When you shoot that deer this year, this is not a show and tell situation. And I don't care at all about bragging and driving it around and this and that. You need to have proper care of that deer. You need to take it. You need to bring it back to camp as soon as you shoot it. And you need to get that hide off. Number one thing, get the hide off the deer. That really, really starts the cooling process. I don't care if you hang it right side up, right side down. Now, the second best thing you can do is bring block ice with you. I know it's a little late in the day. It's Friday. It's deer hunting eve. But block ice will last a lot longer than cube ice. I mean, do what you have to do, but get that block ice in the cavity. Milk jugs are excellent. They are superb. So if you can freeze some milk jugs, if you got a cabin or access to some electricity up there in the great Northwest, freeze up some big blocks, get it in there, cool it down. Now you have to remember, a lot of you guys are sitting there going, oh, don't worry, I bring mine to the processor. Well, just because you make it to the processor doesn't mean they have the commercial freezer. Because a lot of those guys know come Sunday night, we're gonna be down in the 30s again. So it's a hit or miss thing. There were many, many, many guys that brought their deer to me because they showed back up 2 hours later to find their deer at the bottom of a warm pile of deer sitting in a blacktop road. But this is another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Cool it down. Block ice in the cavity. Hang it up. Get the hide off. Put block ice in there. Put a couple straps around it just to keep it nice and closed. and that cold water will trickle down. Whether it's head up or head down, that's going to save you a lot and get everything cooled down. You'll notice within a couple hours that thing will be nice and cool and glazed over to the touch. Number 2, there are a billion, you're on YouTube, there's a billion videos of quartering a deer. Quarter the deer out. Quarter the deer out, throw it in the big cooler. There's these 5-day coolers. Have at it. Quarter it out, throw it in there, and bring it right to the processor like that. Okay, so let's move on. Now is the time to learn how to butcher your own deer. I'm going to go through a few things that you can use to butcher your own deer. First thing you want to do, of course, get it back home. It's nice and cool. You come in, go get your wife, get your kids. This is a pretty easy thing to do. There's a pretty easy way to hang things. There's always a way to hang things in your garage. Menard sells the Gabriels and everything else that goes with it. But I'm going to show you some things behind me that's going to make this easier. The first thing you're going to want to do is find a knife. I have a couple different styles. You do not need to buy expensive knives to do this. Rapula fillet knife will do it. This Victorinox boning knife, 6-inch, is the best knife out there. That's a very good knife. You can take it right from inside your garage right to the kitchen. Don't worry about it. You will use this all the time. It's got a great edge there. Almost every butcher uses one. But Rapula fillet knife, seen a billion of them done this way. And if you need anything heavier, use your hunting knife to break any bones or anything like that. Number 2, latex gloves. Put a pair of latex gloves on, because when you slip, because you're tired or maybe had too many, this glove will take a stitched wound and make it maybe a scratch. You put a Band-Aid over it and move on with it. Put them on. I'm telling you. I tell everybody in my group to do it. Okay. The next thing, so you got your knives and your gloves are on. You need to know how to butcher it. There's a video in the link below called Right from the Bearded Butchers. They go through a video of breaking down a deer. I'm not going to do it for you. There's 10 billion of them out there. Bearded Butchers in the link below. There's some cool guys. Not as cool as me. Not as cool as a mustache. But we'll move on. First thing you want to do, because not everybody has a nice cutting surface, for about $6 at Walmart, look in the cooking section where the pans are. Here's a little UHMW sheet. This will save the edge on your knife. Pick one up. They're good all year round. All right, hang on. The next thing, you're going to need to do this whole thing correctly. You're going to cut a bunch of steaks. Even if you want to save yourself some money, here's my hot tip of the day. Grind your venison. I don't care who you are, grind it and mix it with some beef. Right now, even with COVID, 70-30 hamburger at Walmart is $1.99 a pound. The fatty stuff, yep. So break out a bunch of steaks, do some jerky, but the rest of it, grind it up. Right here, I have a grinder. Black Friday deal. Cost me about 50 bucks. Don't mind that name. Go right to Reed's and buy that. That little grinder has ground tons and tons of meat for me. It's not meant to run all day, but it's good for all kinds of things. So here's my recipe. You want to use 70-30 hamburger and mix your venison 70-30 to the hamburger, okay? So what I do is I take all my venison scrap, I run it through on the coarsest plate that grinder has, and then I take the hamburger, I have 2 different tubs, I hand mix the hamburger in those tubs. Then I take all of that again and I run it through the grinder on your next finest, not the finest you have, but the next one down from coarse, and run that through there. And here's the next thing you need. I kind of don't even mess around. These are gallon, but I use pint bags, Ziploc bags, and I bought one of these. Quick little scale, because I like to put 1.25 pounds in each one of my bags. So I roll it up, I put it on this scale. Buy one of these for your kitchen. They're the most useful thing in the world. Amazon, $9. Pfft, nothing. Put it in your arsenal. It works good for everything. Even if you buy the big bulk hamburger and you want to just freeze it for your family, this works great. So put that in there, about 1.25 pounds in a Ziploc bag, and you're going to have hamburger for, you'll probably turn that into, like I said, 70-30 hamburger, mixed 70-30 to the venison, and you're going to have hamburger forever. And it's great. They hardly shrink on the grill, but you need to get some fat back in there. Yep. And this year, I'm going to do the same thing. I butchered a pig this year. I'm going to add a little more pork fat in there, just because they're super lean, but they are the best hamburgers in the world. You can use it for spaghetti, you know, the whole 9 yards. All right. That's what I got right now. It's going to be a great opener. Get ready for my deer season opener with my family. Much like the duck hunting video, we got stuff for everybody. My daughter Abby's going to be out again this year. We've been covering stuff every single day. It's a whiz bang of a weekend. I appreciate it, and stay tuned for the next video on Outdoor Kruse. All right, you stuck around. Why? For traditions. This one's the best. You're going to love this one. All right, real quick, because you've been hanging out all day. These bad boys right here, they are called the Killing Pants. This has been a tradition. All right, many of you don't know this. I have 3 kids. 4 if you include Ty. We had kids out here my entire life. My oldest is 26, my middle boy is 21, and my girl is 15. These pants I wore since 1997 that I moved in here, and I shot my first deer. Technically, I stole them from my dad. Thanks, Pops. Brought them out here, stretched them out myself every single year. Yep, I did. And they don't fit me anymore. But what I did do is I wore these pants with each kid, every single kid, when they shot their deer, and the blood on these pants to prove it. These things have been a tradition. I've tried to sell them to every kid. Last year, after my daughter shot her first deer, 3 days later, Wednesday evening, I shot a beautiful 10-pointer because the deer gods love me. It's time to retire them, and they'll burn this year, and I got a brand new pair coming out. They've been a tradition. I've called them the Killing Pants. Drop a comment below. Let me know what your traditions are. Can't wait to hear them. There's always something goofy going on. Take care, everybody. Thanks for sticking around and watching the end.